So hello and welcome to math class. Today we're going to fill out our notes for lesson 2.1, which is multiplying fractions. All right, so let's go ahead and look. We have here example 1, multiplying fractions. Find 1/4 of 1/2. Now, if you notice, I said the word of because multiplying also means, if you ever see the word of, like we're going to see down here on a story problem, that means multiply. So if we would multiply, we've practiced this in our Math 5 a day. We multiply across the top, 1 times 1 is 1, and we multiply across the bottom, 4 times 2 is 8. So our final answer is 1/8. We cannot simplify this because we have 1 on the top, which we know is a prime number. It will not go any smaller. All right, let's try these. If you would go ahead and try problems 1, 2, and 3 on your own, and then we will look at them. Go ahead and answer 1, 2, and 3. If you would, please pause your video so that you can answer them. All right, well, hopefully you paused your video and you were able to solve these and you've pressed play again. Let's go ahead and look at number 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 5 is 15. So we have 1/15. This cannot simplify because we already have 1, which is the smallest number. Let's look at this one. We have 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. Now this one we can actually simplify. And what do we mean by simplify? We mean find the greatest common factor of 6 and 12. All right, well, I have here our factors for 6 is 1 times 6, 2 times 3, and 12, we have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. They have a lot of common factors, I see, but the greatest we see is 6. So we're going to use the greatest factor, and so we're going to come over here and we're going to divide these both by 6. If I divide them both by 6, 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. So we have a simplified answer of 1/2. All right, let's look at our last one here. We have 1/2 times 5/6. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 6 is 12. If I look at 5 and 12, they don't have any common factors at all besides 1, so this is simplified. All right, well, let's move on to example 2. Example 2, multiplying fractions. This time, let's see, we have 8 times 3 is 24. 9 times 4 is 36. If you pull out your factor sheet and you look at your common factors, all right, so I've listed our factors. Lots of factors in common, but it looks like to me 12 is our largest common factor. So we'll go back here to our piece of paper, and we're going to divide them both by 12. Let's see, 12 goes into 24 2 times, and 12 goes into 36 3 times. So we have a simplified fraction. All right, go ahead and try problems 4, 5, and 6 on your own. Use your factor sheet to help you simplify. Please pause your video so you can do these 3 problems. All right, well, hopefully you paused your video and you had time to solve these 3. Let's check to see how you did. So multiplying fractions, we multiply across the top, that's 6. We'll put our answer down here. Multiply across the bottom, that's 21. If you looked at your factors for 6 and 21, you should have found a common factor of 3. 3 goes into 6. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 goes into 21. 3 times 7 is 21. And our final answer is 2/7. All right, let's go here. 4 times 3, you should have gotten 12. 9 times 10, you should have gotten 90. Both of these numbers are on your factor sheet, so you should have been able to find a common factor for them. And the greatest common factor that I found was 6 goes into both of them. 6 times 2 is 12, and 6 into 90 is 15 times. Final answer. And the last one, let's see, 6 times 5 is 30. 5 times 8 is 40. This one I like because this one I can simplify them both by dividing by 10, and I get an answer of 3/4. All right, let's look at our story problem here. Our story problem says you have 2/3, oh, there's that word of a bag of flour. You use 3/4 of the flour to make empanda dough. How much of the entire bag do you use to make the dough? Well, it says here we use 3/4 of the bag of flour, which was 2/3. So we're using 3/4 of the 2/3 bag. Well, we learned up here at the top that 3/4, when I say of, that means multiply. So we're going to multiply across the top, and we're going to multiply across the bottom. We're going to find a common factor, and if I look and find the greatest common factor, it looks like it is going to be 6, goes into both of them. 6 divided by 6 is obviously 1, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. So our answer would be 1/2 of the bag. Some of you were paying attention in class the other day when I said when you're multiplying with fractions, if you see a number in the numerator area that matches with the number in the denominator area, you can cancel them out. So I see a 3 up here in the numerator, and I see a 3 down here in the denominator. We can actually make those ones. And I would have gotten 2/4, which still will simplify to 1/2. All right, well, let's see what this next one says. You use 1/4 of the flour to make the dough. There's that word of. How much of the entire bag do you use to make the dough? Well, we're going to do the same thing. You're going to use 1/4 of the flour bag, and the flour bag was 2/3. Of means times, so 1/4 times 2/3, and we're going to multiply and find our answer. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 3 is 12. Common factor. I think the greatest common factor is a 2. 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 12 6 times. So this time we find the answer is 1/6 of the bag. Always remember, anytime you're having a hard time keeping up writing, pause your video so that you can make sure you get everything written down on your paper. All right, let's move on to the back side. This time we're going to multiply a fraction and a mixed number. Well, in order to multiply these two, we're going to have to change our mixed number right here to an improper fraction. So that means we're going to circle this. This means 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. And so that means we're going to change this to 11 over 4. This fraction will bring straight down. And now we're ready to multiply. 1 times 11 is 11. 2 times 4 is 8. This is improper because it's improper because the numerator is larger than the denominator. We want to change it to a mixed number. So we're going to take the top number 11 and we're going to divide it by 8. 8 goes into 11 once. We'll bring our 8 right here and we'll subtract. 11 minus 8 is 3. So my answer is 1 3/4. eighths. Okay, I want you, if you know how to do these, to go ahead and solve 8, 9, and 10. Remember to pause your video so that you can solve these. All right, let's go ahead and see how you did. Hopefully you had some time to try. We can't multiply with this one yet until we make it improper like that. So we circle this. 1 times 6 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. We keep the denominator as a 6, and we bring 1/3 down. 1 times 7 is 7. And 3 times 6 is 18. This is not improper. If you notice, the numerator is smaller than the denominator, so we don't have to change it. And it looks like this cannot be simplified. All right, let's try number 9. All right, number 9. Let's see. Let's circle this. This is a mixed number. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. Keep the denominator, which is a 2, and then we'll bring this one straight down. 7 times 4 is 28. 2 times 9 is 18. I noticed that this top number is larger than the bottom, but I also noticed that I can simplify this. I'm going to go ahead and simplify it first by dividing them both by 2. 28 divided by 2 is 14. 18 divided by 2 is 9. I can't simplify this anymore because they don't have a common factor. This is top heavy, so I'm going to go up here and find some room to do 14 divided by 9. Okay, 9 only goes into 14 one time. 1 times 9 is 9. 14 minus 9. How much is 14 minus 9? All right, it is 5. 1 and 5/9. There is our final answer. For those of you that have been paying attention and listening, our secret word for today is the word K-hawk. Let's see if you can remember it. All right, number 10. Final problem here. Let's change this. 4 times 3, 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. We're going to keep our denominator. We're going to bring this straight down. Oh, do you see the little trick we can do first? I see a number on the top numerator and a number on the bottom denominator. They're the same. So let's go ahead and cancel those because that makes it much easier to multiply. 14 times 1, 14. 1 times 4, 4. These are even numbers, so I'm going to divide them by 2. I'm going to run out of room. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 4 divided by 2 is 2. That is improper. 7 is bigger than 2. So we're going to come up here and do 7 divided by 2. Well, 2 goes into 7 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. Let's subtract here. I get a 1. So my answer would be 3 and 1/2. 3 and 1/2. All right, so we're going to stop there for today, and we will finish the rest at another time. You may go ahead and stop your video.